Okay, reflections. In geometry, a transformation is a way to change the position of a figure. Some transformation, the figure retains its size and only its position is changed. Another transformation, the size of the figure will change. As we look into what we are required to do, let's begin with a reflection. Now, a reflection is a transformation that flips a figure across the line. The line that a shape is flipped over is called a line of reflection. So the shapes are exactly the same distance from this line of reflection on both sides. So the line of reflection, it can be the shape or it can be outside the shape. Or should I say it can be on the shape or it can be outside the shape. Reflection can be created mathematically also, especially if the line of reflection is the x or y axis. If the figure is reflected across the x-axis, you simply multiply the y coordinates by -1, and in layman's term, you're just going to use the opposite for y. And if the figure is reflected across the y-axis, then you simply multiply the x coordinates by -1, or the opposite of that coordinates. Well, let's say for example we have this trapezoid JLKM and its vertices is J -5, -2, L -1 and 1, K -5 and 2, and M -1, -2, and this whole trapezoid is going to be reflected across the y-axis. So we want to know what will be the coordinates of JKM. So the way we will do this is we see J, L, K, and M. So here we will look at J prime, and what we will not do is we will not, since we are going across the y-axis, we're not going to touch the y coordinates. We'll just simply write or use the opposite of the x coordinates. So a -5 is opposite is simply 5. Okay. So we have for J prime 5, -2. So let's take a look at L. We have a -1 and 1. Well, again, we're not going to touch the y. We're just going to multiply -1 by -1, or the opposite of -1, which is a +1. Okay, let's move on to K. And again, we're not going to touch the y coordinates at all. We're going to look at -5 and a -1, which is going to give us the opposite of -5, which is 5. And then let's go on to M, and we see the y coordinates of the -2. We're not going to touch it. And again, a -1 times a -1, or its opposite, is 1. So we see that our new, or our image, will have the coordinates of J 5, -2. Again, the x coordinates changed. L prime, which is 1, 1. Notice the x coordinates change. K prime 5, 2. Notice the -5 changed to 5 on K. And then of course M prime 1, -2, and the x coordinates change from a -1 to 1. So it's real simple when you're dealing with reflection, especially when you're reflecting across the x and y axis. You just follow the procedure, and which is using the opposite of either the x or y term. Alright, should be really easy for you to have fun with reflection.